Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Good morning, American. It's Friday.
Yeah, we made it. Great to be here.
No, we made it.
You know who didn't make it?
That's right.
The BYU Cougars did not make it to today in the
They got hammered.
March Madness. Yeah, they got crushed.
But you were right.
Yeah.
You were right. Your
first to
prediction was-
110 wins.
Yeah, first one to 110
I just thought the other team might be a little closer to 110 when one of them got there. 113-88. It was a bad time to leave their defense back in Provo.
No doubt about it. Well, bad
really
time to
bad
leave
time.
their offense. I mean,
And they
cow.
didn't shoot well. Yeah, they didn't do anything well. But Alabama, I don't want to take anything away from. They shot 52 threes. They made 25 of them.
Sears set a record, right?
Yeah. Sears set a record. The team set a record. There's never been 25 threes made in an NCAA tournament before.
BYU's like, hey, that's our game.
Yeah, right. Right. I mean, it's been Alabama's game, too, but that was to a different level last night. That was like they had 5 Steph Currys on the floor.
No doubt about it.
Crazy. I mean, every time they crossed half court, poop, I'm going to put it up.
They look like the team to beat.
And they hit
sure.
it every time. You know what's going to happen? They're going to cool off, and they'll probably lose to Duke, if that's who they wind up playing. Duke, Arizona, I think, today, right?
Yeah.
No. Duke won last night, right?
Oh, did they play last night?
Yeah.
Oh,
All right, good.
okay, so it
It
is.
is Alabama Duke.
Alabama Duke. That should be a really good game.
Might end up with
good.
Alabama Florida, right, in the national championship.
Maybe.
2 SEC teams.
Yeah, that would suck.
Not really.
That would suck.
Not really.
So essentially, March Madness is over. You can throw away all your brackets now.
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
done.
no, my bracket's
That's
looking
it.
good.
Yeah. Any interest in
Yeah,
it?
it's
Just
over.
gone now. It's
just-
okay, bye-bye.
It's just games all weekend long, but it's over.
It's over.
Nobody watching it.
That guy who's got that payout sitting there, he can cash out at $50,000 or
I know.
ride the farm the $168,000 on
And
his
that
$5.
is a tough call, man.
But I wonder what it's up to now because Duke is now in the
I
Elite
know.
Eight. I bet it's $75,000. We'll pay you $75,000.
Did he turn down the initial offer?
We don't know.
We don't know.
Nobody knows. I don't even know that the guy's come public. Hard Rock
Yeah, Hard Rock posted they had
Casino
a bet.
is the one.
Yeah, they had that bet.
Wow.
But, I mean, for $5, it's tough to not take the money, but on the other hand, let it ride.
Yeah.
I mean, you've gone this far, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's $5. But you'd have that nagging thing
I know.
the rest of your life. I should have taken the $50,000.
Yeah, when Alabama beats Duke by 1 in overtime, you're like,
right.
oh.
We have to assume the guy didn't lose his ticket, right? You know. So
Yeah.
We have to
You
assume
would
that
assume.
That he's probably already spent the money
yeah.
in his head.
Yeah.
So he's probably already counting on the 168 or bust.
Or he's busy
Yeah.
looking for that ticket.
I'm looking at their Twitter. I don't see anything here. Just
Go through it again for somebody who might have missed that.
Okay, so
he did a parlay,
he
right?
did a $5 parlay on 5 different legs. First one, Tennessee Volunteers win the College World Series. That happened last summer.
Okay.
Dodgers win the World Series. That happened in October. Ohio State wins the national championship in football. That happened in January. Eagles won the Super Bowl in February.
Okay.
Now he needs Duke to win the national championship. And his $5 parlay becomes $168,300.
Not
They
bad.
offered him a $50,000 cash out before that Duke game last
Right.
night. Who knows what it's up to now?
right.
It's kind of like deal or no deal. If you say no deal, then
Yeah.
and you do well, then they come back to you with another deal. How about if we
Right.
give you
What if-
75,000? What about 100,000?
Exactly.
Just so they don't
So
have
we'd
to
have
pay
the
out all of it.
168. Yeah. But they're making a gamble too. I mean, they're taking a bet too that,
Yeah, they are.
that Duke's
Right.
going to win.
Right.
I mean,
It's really true. It's fascinating. That's what makes
but
it
to
so
your point,
fascinating.
after seeing the way Alabama shot last night,
Oh,
maybe you cash out now.
yeah.
yeah, no doubt.
Insane. Or you just figure, it's not going to happen again.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
You know, how many times can you shoot?
Welcome
like
to
that?
the world of gambling, Pat.
Right. That's right. There was a 7.7 magnitude earthquake that rocked Thailand and Myanmar last night, causing the collapse of a high-rise building that was under construction in Bangkok, forced hundreds of thousands to evacuate their homes and workplaces. Are they Are they expecting a
We got 43 last
tsunami?
I saw. I don't know about the tsunami stuff, but 43 construction workers were in this building. It's very dramatic. This high rise. It was a 30-story skyscraper they were building. And like you said, the 7.7 followed by the 6.4, I think it was. There's so many people missing.
strong
right now.
aftershock?
Boy, no kidding.
Pray for that part of the world.
Wow.
Damage.
Yeah.
Also, yesterday, Elon Musk, who has done some just amazing work since he started with DOGE. I mean, he's saying that we can save $130 billion just in, I think, Social Security cuts and cuts at HHS. They're about to cut 20,000 more employees from Health and Human Services. Ooh, there's going to be weeping and wailing again.
Yeah, not only that, but another thing that RFK announced yesterday was the withdrawing of $300 million in DEI and gender studies to California alone.
Oh, jeez.
So they pulled that back as well.
Wow. So Elon sat down with Brett Baer at Fox.
He
And
brought the whole DOGE team.
right?
He had them all.
Yep.
They were all rode up there in front of Brett.
All rode up. And they talked about some of the cuts being made.
Our goal is to reduce the deficit by $1 trillion. From a nominal deficit of $2 trillion to try to cut the deficit in half to $1 trillion, or looked at it in total federal spending to drop the federal spending from $7 trillion to $6 trillion. At a high level, you should think of this as we want to reduce the spending by eliminating waste and fraud, reduce the spending by 15%, which seems really quite achievable. The government is not efficient, and there's a lot of
A lot
of waste and fraud. So we feel confident that a 15% reduction can be done without affecting any of the critical government services.
Okay.
I mean, I want more than 15% cut, but if he's saying you can cut 15% and still have the same services,
Yeah.
that's golden.
Think about how stunning this is, though, because up until this point, we couldn't cut 1% off the increase in our debt. So every year it increases and everybody just accepts it. And there's been proposals, hey, how about we just cut 1%, not off the budget, but just off the increase of the and that's what they do.
Yep.
And so with these cuts, they're going out of their minds.
Yeah, you would think that since he's talking about just cutting the fraud and waste at this point, you would expect Democrats would be cheering this, right? I mean, that's what they've been asking for 15 years now. And now it's finally happening.
Yeah.
Because we had the Obama clip. Remember that? Yeah. This was their whole thing. So they should be excited. Of course not.
Yeah, well, Barack put Joe on it.
That's right.
So.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And look at the job he did.
Yeah.
He was on it.
Everybody knows you don't mess with Joe.
No, that's right. What you said.
Yeah.
Elon had more.
We actually want to be careful in the cuts, so we want to measure twice, if not thrice, and cut once. That is our approach. They may characterize it as shooting from the hip, but it is anything but that. Which is not to say that we don't make mistakes. If we were to approach this with the standard of making no mistakes at all, that would be like saying someone in baseball's got to bat 1,000. That's impossible. So when we do make mistakes, we correct them quickly, and we move on.
Yeah.
There you go.
How is that not reasonable? How can you not agree with what he just said there? Because they hate his guts.
Absolutely.
And he's tied to Trump, and they hate him even more. One of those entities that needs to lose funding is NPR. Yesterday, we played the clips of the NPR CEO testifying in front of Congress. God, it was agonizing.
Absolutely agonizing.
Oh, man. Here's a clip of her that was been going around talking about truth.
But one of the most significant differences, critical for moving from polarization to productivity, is that the Wikipedians who write these articles aren't actually focused on finding the truth. They're working for something that's a little bit more attainable, which is the best of what we can know right now. And after 7 years there, I actually believe that they're onto something. That for our most tricky disagreements, seeking the truth and seeking to convince others of the truth isn't necessarily the best place to start. In fact,
Good.
I think our reverence for the truth might have become a bit of a distraction.
Right.
It's preventing us from finding consensus.
Hate that.
Good for you.
Getting important
Consensus
things
more
done.
important than truth. Isn't that great?
I hate that.
There you go. Consensus greater than truth. Yes.
That should be the quiet part that she just said out loud.
Yeah, I was a little dismayed when I saw that.
Talk. She's ready to go.
Realizing that she was with Wikipedia for 7 years. You're like, oh, I thought they had gotten that under control.
Makes sense now.
Huh. I don't know what window she was, what year she was there, but I do know that she's completely unrelated on the board of Signal. Signal app.
Wow.
She's everywhere, man.
Wow.
So
I did not know that.
having people
Holy cow.
agree with each other
Right, that's a problem.
and the same mindset is more important than the actual truth. These people are so dangerous.
Yep.
If we, how many people are getting caught up in that too and thinking, oh yeah, she said it at a TED Talks or whatever that was.
That's the way she runs
It must be
NPR.
true. Must be right. Yeah,
If you
know
say
what?
it at a TED Talk,
If you
gives
say
it
it at a
street
TED
cred.
Talk, it's absolutely true.
Absolutely.
And you can take that directly to the bank.
That's fun.
Think about that. People are, okay. Yeah. We're distracted by truth. Why are we trying to find truth? Wow, that's evil.
Yeah.
Trying to direct people away from truth and just accept falsehoods. And if we can get everybody to accept the falsehood, then
Then
we're
that
fine.
becomes the truth.
That's unbelievable.
She's a piece of work.
Oh, my gosh.
So if
And that's who's running NPR
absolutely.
for you. Congratulations, America. Wow. All right, getting back to the Musk interview, he was also asked about recent comments he made about Senator Mark Kelly of Arizona.
A lot is coming your way, but sometimes you say stuff or post stuff that gets attention.
Yeah, sometimes.
You give it out, in other words. Democratic Arizona Senator Mark Kelly posted on X about his trip to Ukraine to push for continuing to send U.S. weapons and support there, and you posted that he was a traitor. Well, why do that?
Well, I think somebody should care about the interests of the United States above the interests of another country.
Yeah, thank you.
And if they don't, they're a traitor.
Yeah, but he's a decorated veteran, a former astronaut, a sitting U.S. senator.
So?
It doesn't mean it's okay for him to put the interests of another country above America.
Nice.
Obviously, there are some Republicans who think supporting Ukraine is the right thing still, but there is a battle back and forth about how do you think it comes to an end?
Is that his son in the background?
Well, I think there will be a negotiated peace.
Great.
Not really.
And the thing that we should be concerned about is we should have empathy for the thousands of people that are dying every day in trenches for no movement in the lines. So the borders remain the same. For the past 2 years, thousands of people have died every week for nothing. For what? And I take great offense at those who put the appearance of goodness over the reality of it.
Right, thank you.
Those who virtue signal and say, oh, we can't give in to Russia, but have no solution to stopping thousands of kids dying every day. They just want that to continue forever. I have contempt for such people. I don't want to make that clear.
Yeah. So you're optimistic.
Because they're virtue signaling, and their lack of a solution means that kids don't have a father. It means that parents lost a son. For what? Nothing.
I'm glad he didn't back down.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Boy.
Nice.
Yeah.
How about that?
And a couple of comments underneath that clip were spot on. One said, whenever Elon says, let me be clear, he's pissed. Because the last time he did that, he said, go F yourself.
Go
and
to
flipped off
Disney?
Disney. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then some other comment made a great point. The day that Elon was rescuing the astronauts from space, Mark Kelly was tweeting out that I'm selling my Tesla because of Elon Musk and blah, blah, blah. So spot on, Elon.
Yeah.
Absolutely accurate.
All right. When a woman experiences an unplanned pregnancy, she feels alone and afraid most of the time. So many times her first response is to seek out an abortion, and she's got plenty of people, as a rule, encouraging her to do that. But because of the generosity of listeners like you, that search may lead her to preborn network of clinics where she'll be able to choose life, not just for her baby, but for herself. Preborn offers God's love and compassion to hurting women, and then they provide a free ultrasound to introduce them to the life growing inside of them. Makes a huge difference. It doubles the chance that the baby will be born alive. So you can help bring that ultimate miracle of life to life. Preborn sees, on average, 200 babies saved every single day.
Wow, that's great.
You can meet some of the courageous women who have chosen life. You have people like Acacia. When she found out she was pregnant, she was so nervous and had no idea what to do, but God led her to Preborn and their network of clinics where she was given a free ultrasound and loved and embraced by the staff. And once she met her beautiful baby on the ultrasound, she chose life for her and her baby. Last year alone, Preborn saw 67,000 babies saved from abortion. So if you have the means, maybe you could consider a leadership gift to save babies in a really big way. Your tax-deductible donation of $5,000 could sponsor Preborn's entire network for 24 hours. And that could help to rescue hundreds of babies. To donate, dial pound 250, say the keyword baby. That's pound 250, keyword baby, or donate securely at preborn.com/Pat. That's preborn.com/Pat.
Pat Gray is Unleashed.
Coming up at the top of the hour for our Free Think Friday this month, we're going to be chatting about the possibility of a coming cyber pandemic. What is a cyber pandemic, you might be asking yourself? And what is a cyber pandemic?
Basically,
Chris, since you set up this guest, help us out with what a cyber pandemic is.
basically
you'll know
no more internet, no more internet, no more technology. If AMP goes off, everything's disconnected.
Because the computer got bird flu? Is that what happened?
It doesn't have to be an EMP. I mean, it could just be the WEF.
So according to the WEF, they're predicting and they just game played as the world went through a cyber pandemic, and just like they war play the COVID. So we're thinking that they're trying to war play.
They always telegraph everything that they plan for us.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah, I don't care for that.
So who's our guest?
Is Richard Jackson.
And what does he do?
He is the Oklahoma Deputy Attorney General for Cybersecurity.
Okay. And has he seen these computers contract bird flu before?
He has,
Okay.
yes. And
What about monkeypox?
Monkeypox,
Can he deal with that in a
measles?
computer too?
There's a couple
Measles?
of computers
All right.
with measles.
How many computers have died so far from the
7.
measles? 7 already. Wow. All right, we'll be talking to him about that.
Make sure your computers don't rub up against each other.
Yeah, right.
Monkeypox is
no fun in that.
dangerous.
Okay, so in this world of rapidly changing technology, Bill Gates was just on with Jimmy Fallon. That had to be so much fun. Gosh, don't you love them both? I love them both. And they discussed artificial intelligence and how quickly everything's changing.
The era that we're just starting is that intelligence is rare. You know, a great doctor, a great teacher. And with AI, over the next decade, that will become free, commonplace. You know, great medical advice, great tutoring. And
It'll be free.
It's kind of profound because it solves all these specific problems. Like we don't have enough doctors or, you know, mental health professionals.
Sure.
But it brings with it kind of so much change. You know, what will jobs be like? Should we, you know, just work like 2 or 3 days a week? So I love the way it'll drive innovation forward. But I think, you know, it's a little bit unknown. Yeah. Will we be able to shape it? And so legitimately, people are like, wow, this is a bit scary. It's completely new
cost
territory.
people jobs.
I mean, will we still need humans?
No.
Not for most things.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
You know, we'll decide.
I mean, hosting a talk show.
Fun. That's fun.
Really?
Well, we'll decide, you know, like baseball. We won't want to watch computers play baseball.
That's correct.
No, but we won't be able to afford to watch.
You know, so there'll be some
professional
things
baseball.
that we reserve for ourselves. But in terms of making things and moving things and growing food, over time, those will be basically solved problems.
Oh, perfect.
I'm a fan of that.
Yeah, that's great.
I'm a fan of that.
Yeah, what are you going to do for a living?
I'm going to make sure that my robot, really, it's going to be difficult, right? And all the experts say that for sure. Even Bill's alluding to it, but the other experts all allude to it's going to be very job disruptive.
Well, yeah.
And employment disruptive. And I don't know the answer to that. I will say this. With all the robots that I've seen and we've shown on this show and talked about, they can't get wet. So if you're a human, look for work where you're dealing with some kind of water product.
Interesting.
I don't see the robots getting wet.
You know a way you can stop artificial intelligence,
which is disappointing because I want one to do dishes. But
from getting out of control. If you want to stop it, then you just do a cyber pandemic and stops those robots in their tracks.
Kills them all. Yes. Yeah. So just introduce bird flu or monkeypox or the measles
that's
into your computer.
I don't know that. We'll talk during the break.
Okay. All right. I think I got it down pretty clearly.
Yeah, you're close. You're right there. You're right there. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's scary.
I don't know. It is.
Future's scary, and I think he's absolutely right on the timing. I mean, he said in the next 10 years, gosh, it feels like 10 years with AI, the way it's advancing, feels like forever away.
That's for sure.
Yeah, Glenn's told the story about talking with the AI unit, I think Grok, and he asked it something about how old it was currently, and it was something like 5 years old or whatever. He went and did some other things, came back, asked it the same question. It was now 15 years old, something to that effect. And then overnight, he left it alone overnight.
Oh, no.
It was 20 to 25 years older.
Oh, no.
So, I mean, if it's really progressing at that kind of a clip, because we put it all online now and we weren't doing that before. So we were limiting its accessibility to everything. Now it has the access of everything. So it's going to increase exponentially now.
And then one day it breaks out of the box.
Right. Yep. Then one day you got Skynet. And you're fighting that battle. So,
anyway, happy Friday.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Everything's good. It's all cool.
It's fine.
It's fine.
We'll continue to make the apocalypse fun. So we're having fun talking about it, right? During yesterday's show, we talked about the breaking news of the MS-13 gang leader being arrested in Virginia. You might remember he had a tattoo, so they busted him.
Yep.
If you have a tattoo now,
going down.
Yeah, you're going down. You're going down. That's if you were to listen to the left. That's actually what they believe.
I know.
They believe the only thing they have on them is that they've got a tattoo. Oh, okay. I'm sure that's what they're going on. But FBI Director Kash Patel said this.
This is what happens when you let good cops be cops, and we're going to continue to let good cops be cops across this country. President Trump gave us the executive decision to go after and safeguard our communities. General Bondi is our warrior of justice leading that charge. Governor Youngkin, it's an honor to be a partner in this operation with you and U.S. Attorney Siebert. This is the mandate we have. Right now we have an American dying every 7 minutes from a drug overdose. That is a national security crisis we have not seen ever before. We have a woman or child being raped every 6.5 minutes in this country. We have a homicide twice an hour. No part of that metric is a safe and secure America. But thanks to the brave leadership of this administration and the folks that you see here, we are returning our communities to safety.
Good.
As you heard, we took down this morning a top leader of MS-13. That is not done easily. That is done with brilliant law enforcement.
Yep. Attorney General Pam Bondi gave us some hope on the MS-13 leader.
Early this morning, one of the top leaders of MS-13 was apprehended. He was the leader for the East Coast, one of the top 3 in the entire country. Right here in Virginia, living half an hour outside of Washington, D.C. He is an illegal alien from El Salvador, and he will not be living in our country much longer. He's in custody this morning. One of the top leaders right here near our nation's capital.
Okay. Good. And they know he's the leader because he
had a tattoo.
He had the tattoo on his chest.
It's a simple fine. Are back in charge.
Simple fine.
They sure are. This is great. And, now they're being blocked to send those people where they belong, send them back home, whether it's El Salvador or Guatemala or Venezuela. I don't care. Or Manawa, Nicaragua.
Thank you.
If you want to send them to Manawa, Nicaragua, I'm all about it. Go ahead. But on that front, Border Czar Tom Homan seems to love his job, doesn't he? Guy was fantastic. It really shows that he just doesn't care what you think about the job he's doing. He's just going to do the job that the president put him in charge to do.
Yes.
And here he was yesterday.
I think it's going to open up a lot of eyes. I think illegal aliens, the most vulnerable, are not going to spend their life savings to hand it to a criminal cartel to come to the United States, knowing we ended catch and release. You're not going to be released in the United States. You're going to be deported immediately. And as the Secretary said, we got a lot of tools in the toolbox. El Salvador prison's one. We got Gitmo. We got other countries. So for those countries who push back on taking their criminal nationals back, we'll send them to another country. We got a lot of tools in this toolbox. Again, President Trump's a game changer. We got illegal immigration on board down 96% because of the policies of the Trump administration. And we got, let's say, record number of criminals. We still got a lot more to do in the interior, but we got the right team put together. This is the greatest team I've seen in my over 40 years serving as a special agent, a border patrol agent. I've never seen a team this serious about making this country safe.
Yeah, me
we got
neither.
a great president. He's got a great team. So I wake up every day like a kid in a candy shop getting ready to go to work. And I know we're making a difference every day.
That is awesome. Awesome. You don't have a tattoo like that. I do not. Do you? Yeah. Jeffy's like naked on his chest. It's just, it's embarrassing, really.
I'm fascinated by Kristi Noem, gravel pit, walking around the prison with her $60,000 Rolls watch on and the style shoes. I'm sure.
Well, you got to have a lot of faith in the gatekeeper.
Guys with the tats are interested.
You got to have a lot of faith in the people running the gates at that prison if you're showing up there. Oh, my goodness.
I want to show a picture of the MS-13 leader that we arrested. I don't see tattoos, so I'll call racism.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Where are the tattoos?
Oh.
Maybe on his chest?
Like you.
Yeah. Like I have my MS-14 on my chest.
Yes, you're right.
Again,
just for fun, though. That's not because you're part of the gang or anything.
No.
That was discount.
It was just for fun.
It was
right. I like the look of it.
Yeah.
So.
The tattoo artist really saved your bacon on that one.
Yeah, I really did.
Screwing that up.
Really did. He messed up. Because I guess what it turned out is that he's superstitious, so he doesn't like the number 13. So he made it MS-14.
You should go back and thank him.
Dude, thanks. I was pissed at the time.
Yeah.
But now.
But in hindsight.
Yeah.
It worked out.
Otherwise, I'd be in El Salvador with the rest of my boys.
Homan would have already knocked on your door.
Yeah.
Next to your boys.
And rightly so, right? You saw my boys, right?
I sure did, yes.
Can you tell they're my boys? Look at them.
Oh, dude. Your boys straight.
Look at them.
We're together.
Yeah, go back to a still shot. You can see that we got a lot in common, me and my boys.
No, the prison.
No, the prison.
Yeah.
Prison.
Not the guy without the tattoo.
Yeah, that guy's a poser.
Yeah. Okay, well, that... you can barely make out one or two of them, but you can. There we go.
Hey, we got
There's my boys. Except my boys,
they got T-shirts.
They don't wear masks.
The ones down in the bottom are the ones that are all tatted.
I was going to say,
the ones down there.
They wore masks, bro.
Wow. Yeah, that's
gotta be safe
at all.
I'm embarrassed for them wearing masks. I'll bet they're forced into it. You think they're forced?
Oh, I think so too.
Yeah, I think they probably have to.
There's a lot of things they're forced into.
Yeah.
Lights never go off, by the way.
What?
Okay. The lights never go off?
Never go off.
All right, that's
really. Jeez.
Now that's a prison there.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
What about TV? Do they have TV and full access to internet, right?
Nope.
Come on.
Nope.
No.
Nope.
Okay, video games then. They're playing video games in there.
30 minutes of exercise in the hallway. They're not even allowed to go outside that building.
Isn't that something? Wow.
And that's how you got to treat murderers.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
And people with tattoos.
People with tattoos. Thank you.
People with tattoos. So have we ever heard the explanation of why they went directly to prison? I haven't heard
just
one.
Tattoos.
Yeah. We get that from the Democrats. Oh, because they have tattoos, you put them in prison in El Salvador.
Well, we know that the crimes that they've committed, and we just bypass the judge. We don't.
Okay, all right.
What's your problem with that?
Sure, no problem.
That's why the judges have a problem.
All right, we'll check in with the Fat Five with Jeffy next.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Frugal Father tweets, 25 three-pointers by Alabama against BYU. That was record-setting. Were there 25 pat screeches, too? Oh, more than that.
Yeah, no doubt.
More than that.
Felt like there was a lot more than 25. I'll tell you that.
It did. It felt like anything they cast up.
I know. The bucket must have looked like a
oh,
giant,
my gosh. Look, a huge swimming pool.
I know.
Olympic-sized swimming pool to them.
They were just putting it up, man.
All right. Scottness31 tweets, computer monkeypox can be diagnosed by observation of weird growths around the USB ports.
There you go. Okay. Well, thank you.
It's
good to know.
Yeah. Look for them. Look for it like that to see if you've got that computer pandemic going on. Cyber pandemic.
Yeah, pewpox.
Paco D, can computers be disconnected from their power source? Asking for a friend. No, you can't. That's no.
Impossible.
And from Chuck Shazam Bartowski, Free Think Friday. If Jeffy had a tattoo, what would it be and where would it be?
Well, no. First of all, I do have one.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I've got a set of hands. On here, I'll show you. I got to pull my pants down and show you.
That's a big canvas.
You got hands doing this? Okay.
Gross.
That is sick.
Yet we laugh.
Yeah. I apologize for that image that you'll never be able to get out of your head.
Yeah.
It's just there now.
It's there.
It's there.
That's just like my tat. It's there. What are you going to do?
Jeffy says, you're welcome. All right. You got a Fat Five for us?
I do. Let's rock and roll. Sure.
Let's do it.
YouTube hit a record 11.6% of all TV viewing in February, according to the latest edition of the Nielsen's Distributor Gauge report. The top finish was YouTube's second, largely due to the new methodology and groups together all platforms. Disney included ESPN, ABC streaming. Disney in February fell to number 2. Fox had a big surge because of the Super Bowl and NASCAR. And Disney fell because football's over, right, in February. It's done for them, NFL and college. So, and then you have Netflix and Paramount and NBC Universal and the usual suspects on the race. They also said that, which was interesting in this report, they said the overall viewing bump has been increasingly driven by older audiences. The viewing from adults age 65 plus has nearly doubled in the last 2 years, and the demographic now represents a viewing contribution similar to that from kids 2 to 11.
That's interesting.
It is. That's interesting.
They're finally catching on to it and deciding, I think I can figure this out now.
I can go to that app. Is it an application? Yes.
Yes,
it is. That's what it is. All right, so we have some music news. The good, the sad, and the ugly. The good, I know, Pat, that you are overjoyed with the announcement from your girl, Lady Gaga.
Oh, man.
She announced the Mayhem Ball Tour. In support of her new album, Mayhem, obviously, her 6th studio album, which, by the way, debuted at number 1 on Billboard's 200. It's her first arena tour since 2018. She kicks it off in Vegas, ends it in Paris. Then she's going to be at Coachella before that. She's going to do a big free show in Rio de Janeiro on that Copacabana beach. Awesome. And then she ends up in Singapore. You can sign up for those pre-sale tickets through Sunday. This Sunday, you can sign up to be a part of the pre-sale. Just go to Ticketmaster.com/Lady Gaga and get those pre-sale tickets in. Now we have sad news. Johnny Mathis. Yes, Pat, he's still alive. My gosh, I don't know why you thought he was dead. He's 89, going to be 90.
Okay.
He has announced that he's retiring from
No,
live
don't say
stage
that.
performances.
Oh, don't say that. At the tender age of 89? Come on. Way too soon.
Got to change my summer plans.
Yeah.
Wow. They're saying that age and memory issues have accelerated.
Oh, no.
So
is he getting dementia?
He says all concerts that were already scheduled after June of this year are canceled. So tough. You get your money back or you're not going to go if you were planning on going. He has 4 concerts left, one in Pennsylvania, Indiana, California, and New Jersey. His final show will be May 18th, and then that's it. Have a nice day. No more Johnny Mathis. No more Johnny Mathis tours. I know. I know.
That's
Like I
gonna be
said,
tough.
sad news.
Yeah, that's going to be tough.
So, I mean, you still have a chance to go.
Once, right?
Well, there's 4 shows. There's
okay.
one in 4 separate states. You can still go.
All right. And what's the nearest?
Well,
not that matters. I'd go anywhere to see Johnny.
You've got one in Pennsylvania, one in Indiana, one in... You might go to the final show.
You know what?
In
I
New
might go to
Jersey.
all of them. I'm just, since this is the last
It's only the last
series
4
of
times,
them,
yeah.
I might go to them all.
That'd be fun.
Every single one of them.
That would be fun. The ugly news out of music.
Wouldn't it?
Man, dream come true.
Fun.
Kind of fun.
It would
yeah.
be. It
All
would
right.
You get a T-shirt for each show. It'd just be wonderful. The ugly news, Nancy Wilson. You know you love her from Heart. She... I
do love her. I love Heart. You like Heart?
Yeah, they're okay. I like some of their songs.
Why are we friends?
But I like some of their stuff. It's okay.
Every time you do that, I know you don't like it. Whether it's food, whether it's music, whatever.
Wouldn't you, Barracuda? Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
I got it. But she gave an interview with the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel. She's 71 now, and we don't normally get all caught up on Milwaukee Journal Sentinel interviews. She did it the first of the month. We're just finding out about it now. She said in this interview, they were talking about the Crazy on You song from 1975, and she said, we were kind of embarrassed at the time to call ourselves American because of the dirty politics of the Vietnam War. Okay. But then she said in the interview, to be as subtle as possible, it's embarrassing now.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, man. Okay.
So subtle.
You just wrecked it.
I know.
You just ruined Heart.
That's what I'm saying.
Ah!
And they're going to start touring again, too, because Anne is, has gone through her cancer treatments, and they're going to be back to concerts real soon. So it'll be great. In fact, they may have even already started, because I think they said they had a show this week in Montreal that they were going to do, and they could just keep doing shows in Canada.
Yeah, stay there.
That's fine. If you feel safer there, stay there.
Yep,
you're fine. So there is a monster in my room. Who among us hasn't had a child seemingly afraid of the dark when it's bedtime? And so let's go to Great Bend, Kansas, 180 miles southwest of Topeka. It's right there in Barton County. 10:30 p.m. local time. A babysitter putting the child to bed. The child kept complaining, "There's a monster under my bed. There's a monster under my bed."
No.
The babysitter, trying to ease the child's fears, said, "I'll check under the bed." Came face to face with this man. 27-year-old Martin Villalobos Jr.
Oh, no.
Yes, he was under the bed.
Oh, my.
There really was a monster under the bed.
Oh, he'll look good in that El
So they had
Salvador
an altercation, which with the babysitter, and one child apparently, to the story, was knocked over in the commotion, but he got out of the house. He just ran out of the house, and sheriff deputies were dispatched to the residence where he was not found. Then the next morning, sheriff deputies spotted him walking along the street and arrested him after, they said, claim a brief foot chase. Apparently, he lived at the home once, but was banned from the property because of an abuse order. And his relationship to the children and the residents, they didn't say. I don't know what that was. I don't think there was a relationship other than maybe there's that guy who thinks he still lives here. But they didn't say that. So he's facing charges of aggravated kidnapping, which is weird. I'm not sure how you get to that. Aggravated burglary, aggravated battery, child endangerment, and felony obstruction of a law enforcement officer. Okay. He's also facing a violation of the protection order against him and being held in $500,000 bail. So I mean, it's pretty scary for the babysitter, too.
No kidding.
Is they ever going to babysit again? I don't know. The babysitter might have been 50-year-old Martha from next door or the 16-year-old friend. They didn't say. They just called it a babysitter.
Yeah.
But, that'd be, you want to babysit?
Scary.
No, thanks.
Yeah.
No, I'm good. No problem.
Scary.
And the kid.
Good thing that
holy cow.
turned out all right.
Yeah, no kidding.
Wow.
I mean, the kid's bed, you got to figure those mattresses are just going to be on the floor from now on.
And that probably didn't help with the fear of the monster underneath the bed.
Because there really was one.
Okay. All right, let me tell you about Fast Growing Trees. You know that is the biggest online nursery in the United States? Thousands of different kinds of plants and over 2 million happy customers. They have all the plants your yard needs, like fruit trees, privacy trees, flowering trees, shrubs, whatever you're looking for. They've got it. So go to Fast Growing Trees. They've got you covered. Find the perfect fit for your climate and the space that you have. Fast Growing Trees makes it really easy to get your dream yard. Order online, get your plants delivered directly to your door in just a few days without ever leaving home. They also have an Alive and Thrive guarantee that ensures that your plants arrive happy and healthy. So you can also get support from trained plant experts. You just call them and they'll help you plan your landscape. They'll help you choose which plants are right for your climate and your area and where to put them. And they're just really helpful. It's really great. I love these guys. So go to fastgrowingtrees.com, fastgrowingtrees.com. Promo code PAT, by the way.
This
Promo
is
code
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Yeah. Okay. Fastgrowingtrees.com. Use the promo code PAT at checkout.
Sadly, I've perused the Fast Growing Trees website, and I find that it's kind of interesting, and you think, oh, man, that would be cool to have, and then, that's not going to grow here.
Oh.
That's not going to grow here. All right.
That's an important little element, though.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. So I tell you a person who's going to end up in Who Died Today on Chewing the Fat today. Be sure to subscribe to my podcast, my daily podcast, Chewing the Fat with Jeff Fisher. Available.
What do I have to pay for
wherever
that,
you get
though?
your podcast. Today, right now,
okay,
it's free. Wow! It's thank you for asking.
Wow,
Thank you for asking because
You're welcome.
I can't promise tomorrow.
No,
but
I mean you're fighting hard,
so I can promise this weekend. I can't promise Monday.
Okay, all right.
So,
but if I get right on it,
if you subscribe,
it'll
today,
be free, no charge
absolutely,
at all.
It's free.
Okay.
So this person will be in my Who Died Today segment. Star Wars actor Clive Revell, the villainous voice behind Emperor Palpatine.
Oh, really?
From The Empire Strikes Back, has died. He was 94 years old. So.
Oh, wow. 94.
Yeah, and it's weird that he died like a couple weeks ago, and his daughter said in the story, the daughter confirmed his passing to the Hollywood Reporter. I don't know if she called them, or if the Hollywood Reporter said, "Hey, is Clive? Can we talk to Clive?" And she was, "No, he's dead.
He's dead.
I don't know.
He's dead.
I don't know." Doesn't say.
At the end, do you understand the power of the dark side?
He did a lot of other.
I thought the guy who actually played the part did the voice. No,
nope.
That's weird.
So
all right.
He was battling dementia and died in a nursing home in California. Really sad.
Geez.
Yeah, I know. And the new Hunger Games book, massive hit, Sunrise on the Reaping. Be ready for that film as soon as they can get it out. It sold more than 1.5 million copies in its first week. English copies in its first week.
Really?
1.5 million. That's 3 times as many as Mockingjay. Yes, and it says here that a film adaptation is already in the works.
Well, of course it is. That doesn't happen anymore. You know?
Yeah, I know.
Those kinds of book sales are extremely
and I don't
rare.
know if this is hard copy or not, because I know my daughter is listening to the audio version of this already. But maybe I don't know that it's included. It didn't say. But no way, nobody sells 1.5 million.
No, J.K. Rowling. That's about it.
Yeah. A good day. So local news sometimes is the best news. We get audio clips that will live on forever. You know, like this one from Linda Hopkins, who happened years ago. Sounds something like this.
The Linda Hopkins?
Yeah, well, I talked to Chris about having this
ready
to go during the Fat Five.
And he's on it. Yeah,
That's what we
obviously.
do is just play that clip just to remind people of news clips that happen.
it on the news. I heard it on the news. And I said it was ridiculous, man. That's it.
Thank you. Those clips that live on forever. We love the live shots from the news. Well, we have a news report that will live on now from Fox 29 in Philly, the Good Day Digest show, having a good time the other morning.
Oh, no.
And it looks something like...
in Newcastle County, Delaware. Right in front of the Applebee's. I've been to the Applebee's before. So this, the list, free car wash. Here we go.
Let me get that. Just
yes, that's it. Get them.
You could laugh. You know you can laugh.
What am I laughing at?
What do you mean? What are you laughing at? I'm sorry, Jeffy.
Stop it.
What?
Here we go.
Stop it.
Here we go.
I'm done.
What?
No, that's the 5-5. Thank you. I appreciate
don't understand.
Thank
What's
you,
the
Pat.
problem?
Thank
Car
you,
fire.
Pat. Thank you.
Chris and I don't understand.
Don't understand.
Car
You
fire.
you don't have to.
Okay.
You don't have to.
Right.
We'll laugh about it later, Jeffy.
All right. Well, you laughed.
I did.
Was
I
that
thought it was
laughed?
funny.
Oh, it was
I mean,
hysterical.
it needs to be
I thought it was
unanimous,
funny.
or
Yeah.
You know what? Yes.
okay.
You know what it does?
There, I just laughed.
It does.
I just laughed.
I don't think
Is
you
that
did.
Linda Hopkins? Is that what we're supposed to laugh? Is she,
I
like,
don't
in the
think you
car?
did.
Look at that. That's
Okay.
That's a
The broken pipe.
broken water
Yeah,
main.
yeah, that's what it is. All over
That's
the,
all
all
it
over
is.
the roadway.
There's nothing else going on there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It's funny.
Anyway, I'm gonna start. We're done. We're done.
If you're listening to the audio version of
done.
the podcast,
It's hysterical, Jeffy.
We're done with
Where
you.
did you dig that one up?
We're done with
Was that adequate or no?
you. Yes,
Yeah,
I'm glad
okay.
you
All
enjoyed
right.
it. Yeah, thank you.
I did.
Thank you. I'm
I
glad you
enjoyed that,
enjoyed
and
it.
Chris didn't, but I
Boy,
did.
yeah.
You
You know
got
what?
me and Keith on it.
Good.
So
that's rough for the people driving by getting that on them.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what
Right?
the clip was about.
Yeah.
That's what the clip was about. Sure was.
That guy doesn't even seem to be bothered. Like he's used to this. What's going on there?
So they
No,
did that
just
on
stop.
purpose, obviously,
Just stop.
right?
No,
they
we're
did it
not.
on purpose.
We're done.
That's
Maybe
what
you
I'm
didn't
trying
hear
to figure
me.
out
We
because
are
the way
done.
he's standing, you know,
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
we know what's up.
I think they planned that. Then that's what makes it so hysterical.
See, because their water main break.
Standing there and
The water main break. There's nothing like a good water break in the morning, am I right?
yeah, you're right.
And I said it was ridiculous, man.
Yeah.
That is rich.
That's it.
Thank you.
That's
Thank
it.
you.
That's it.
Thank you.
Cool.
All right. More Pat Gray Unleashed coming up, and our cyber pandemic discussion. You don't want to miss that.
Pat Gray Unleashed.
Pat Gray is here on the Blaze Radio Network.
Good morning, American. It's Friday.
Welcome to it. Great to have you with us. Couple of tweets here. This is pretty important from Not Jess. Can we get a trigger warning when Jeffy's tats are about to be discussed? Yes, we actually didn't see that coming. I forgot for a minute who we were dealing with. So, from Fury and Energy, dude's lucky to be alive. Trying that in Kansas.
Right.
I know.
Most of us shoot first, ask questions later.
Hide
Yeah, the
down
under the bed monster thing.
Yeah.
Yes. Bunter Hayden, pardon crack connoisseur. Wait, so now Emperor Palpatine will vote Democrat for all eternity?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. All right. Let me also tell you about something near and dear to my heart, and that's Kexi cookies. They're really good in my mouth, too. I love these cookies, and I know you will as well. These are just, as Jeffy puts it, simply the best.
Absolutely.
Cookies on this planet. And pretty much there's no denying it. It's a scientific reality, you know. I mean, I don't make universal law. I just live by it.
Is this an official announcement that you're going to be sponsoring the White House Easter egg roll?
That's April 1st, dude.
That's April 1st.
Yeah, that's the announcement that you're going to make on April 1st.
Yes.
okay.
I'm announcing it then. Right.
All right.
Exactly.
I apologize.
And this is the last week to order the Irish cream brownie and the mint chocolate cookie, which are about to go away because we're going to replace them with springtime deliciousness. But just to give you an idea, you don't have to take my word for it. Here's what Chuck said. He said, these cookies are amazing. When I saw a dozen for $55, I was skeptical. Then I received and picked up the box. The weight was undeniable. Yeah, it's like 450 pounds or something.
It is.
These things are huge, sweet, and delightful. If anyone is reading this, trust me, order a dozen. Get one of each as I did, and I did not have one that I wouldn't reorder. Every damn one was fantastic.
Oh, thank you, Chuck.
That's not from me. That's from Chuck. And thank you very much. Delicious cookies. They're made with they're gourmet cookies, all natural ingredients. Real butter, real sugar, real quality ingredients. I think you're going to love them. Keksi.com. Go there and pick some up for yourself. Keksi. Keksi.com.
Yes. Pat Gray continues.
Time for our cyber pandemic discussion. Richard Jackson will join us here in a second. He serves as the Oklahoma Deputy Attorney General for Cybersecurity Technology and Digital Assets, acting as the subject matter expert on cybersecurity policy, regulation, and compliance, innovation, and entrepreneurism facilitation. Okay, that's a mouthful.
That is.
That's a lot. But he holds a bachelor's degree in economics, energy management, summa cum laude from University of Oklahoma, Juris Doctorate from the University of Alabama, which not real happy with right now, having beaten my Cougars last night, and several cybersecurity industry certifications, including the Certified Information System Security Professional designation.
Oh, that's the CISP.
CISP.
Yeah,
Yes.
everybody knows about the CISP.
CISSP, the CISP designation. All right, so Richard, welcome. Thanks for joining us here on The Blaze.
Hey, Pat, thanks for having me. And I'm sorry about your Cougars, but sometimes you just can't miss three-pointers, and last night was our night.
Honestly,
well, it was good talking to you.
Never seen anything like it from NBA or anywhere else.
Yeah, it's hard to beat a team that just can't seem to.
There's no doubt about that.
It is. Yeah, it
in
really
fact,
is.
you can't.
I mean, a little bit of defense would have helped, but they were amazing last night, the Crimson Tide. Anyway, how would you define, first of all, a cyber pandemic, and what makes it different from a typical cyber attack that we see every day?
Yeah, so I think the mental model that everyone could probably take away from this is, as we get more interconnected, as there's more devices, as we're more and more plugged into the internet, our risks are growing exponentially. But oftentimes the measures that we take to be secure are kind of growing linearly. So it's that delta that we're starting to see at kind of in a broad sense. But to your question, the definition, really, I think what you're looking at is kind of looking at it two ways. One is quantity has a quality of it all its own, right? There maybe the specific risks that we're facing aren't necessarily any worse than before, but because there are so many, the impact due to the number causes something, right? I get a cold, you get a cold, we're all good. Everybody in the office gets the flu. Nothing's getting done. Kind of that same idea. Right. And then I think there's a little bit more that is more kind of a function of an event, which the global pandemic, the cyber pandemic, let's not mix pandemics here. The cyber pandemic looks more like a coordinated global scale, simultaneous impact cyber event. That's kind of an unfortunate but necessary definition.
What are the most critical vulnerabilities in our current infrastructure that can be exploited?
Well, I think really you can look at four, and they exist everywhere. One is as we've kind of increased our digital footprint, we're also centralizing that footprint. So as we move to cloud services, as we move to singular nationwide or global service providers, that one provider is at risk. And so whether it's things in the cloud or your critical infrastructures, the more and more valuable they are, the more at risk it becomes. That's one. Number two is really the IT catch-22, where we're always trying to innovate but can't seem to get rid of anything. And so your legacy system dependencies, old systems that you just can't seem to get rid of, but no one really knows how to take care of, and you can't update, you can't modernize. That's our second one. Third, this is now kind of taking a more national security element, your supply chain risks. So software, hardware, the people, where are the things that we're buying and putting into our network and that we're depending on? Where are they coming from? How secure are those? And we've seen evidences and issues with that in the past. And then finally, it really falls on us. Number four is a lack of planning, right? Incident response plans, continuity of operations and redundancies, recoveries. You can't buy homeowners insurance after the fire has started.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, it seems like a lot of what we do is after the fact reactive processes as opposed to proactive. But I think that's, to your question, those are really kind of the four major critical areas of vulnerability.
And what industries do you think are most at risk here on a really large scale attack? Is it banks? Is it national security? What is it?
Yeah, it's going to be really those things that have the greatest immediate and follow-on impact. So energy and utilities, if the power goes out, nothing works.
Mm-hmm.
Financial services, as you alluded to, if money can't flow, commerce can't flow, business can't happen. So financial services are obviously up there. Logistics is another area, right? If the Port of Los Angeles or the Port of New Orleans, if they can't even scan in to get into the buildings, that's a very minor, isolated incident, but it stops global trade. That's a problem. And then, of course, healthcare. When we're talking about actual, people's lives, not their money, not their property, but their heartbeats and their quality of life. Really, there's no greater impact that we can describe. And so, really, those four are probably the highest risk industries or sectors.
So, Richard, this is Keith Malinak. In your role as a government official, how much does it concern you, especially considering their track record of predicting the future, the World Economic Forum, with their cyber pandemic simulation? I don't know, especially when you couple that with things that Klaus Schwab has said about, one day, the internet's going to be shut down and it's going to be bad. What does that do to your office or your spidey senses when you see an organization like this with a track record of predicting really bad things for humanity?
Well, I think I would offer a context to the listener to say that it sounds like the World Economic Forum is about 20 years behind the curve on predicting impacts. Mm-hmm. And what I mean is, just look the U.S. government, obviously the fastest moving organization on the planet, right? He said sarcastically. Even the U.S. federal government back in 2010 recognized the risk and the severity, and we created the U.S. Cyber Command, right? The military was looking at this. If the military was looking at it in 2005, industry and the very smart people on the private sector were looking at this in 1995, and the researchers and the really deep tech guys were looking at this in the 60s and 70s. So I welcome their inputs on trying to gain awareness of the potential here, but these are problems and issues that private industry and people in the military and government have been looking at for 25, 30, 40 years. So probably I will give them a flower on directionality in that the problem is getting worse. Probably the homework is a little late.
I'm concerned that they're the ones that could be behind it, though. That's my point.
Well, and I won't speak to attribution, right? But the good people in Langley, Virginia, are on top of it. And I trust that our military service members are making sure that we're
perfectly
at least
safe.
keeping track of people.
Sure.
Well, I don't know about that.
So AI has been seemingly increasing its capabilities exponentially. Is that making us safer or more vulnerable to cyber pandemics?
Yeah, so this is one of those technologies that cuts both ways. So what AI is really doing is changing the pace, right? Speed, scale, and timing. Automation allows things to happen in duration, so it just never stops because the computer doesn't need to sleep. AI doesn't need to take a break. It can iterate more rapidly. So when you discover a vulnerability, it can iterate on that. It can change things. It can modify. It can mutate. And it also, again, exploiting the elimination of human factors, increasing patience. AI is emotionless. It is persistent. Yep. AI technology can sit and wait for the optimum time where there's no, again, human factor about we need to do this now or taking the emotional element. But that cuts both ways. In the same way that a vulnerability can be developed by AI, security can be implemented by AI. So we're in the new kind of tension of technology. And unfortunately, there's not a really good answer about who's going to win the battle on the day. It's, I think, but we are recognizing that the broader concept of the AI-influenced war, as it were, is one that we're going to have to get smart on.
Yeah.
Quickly.
And it seems like we don't do that in time way too often. I mean, they've suggested changes and upgrades to our infrastructure to avoid, for instance, an EMP attack that they could easily have undertaken years and years and years ago that they still haven't done for some reason. And I would imagine basically the same thing is happening in the cyber world.
Correct. And unfortunately, like I alluded to about insurance, is this cybersecurity is often looked at after the fact as not a priority or as something we want to do as little as possible because it is, right, just like paying premiums on health insurance, it's just a cost as it's seen. It's not until a catastrophe happens that everyone goes, oh, thank God we did this. Unfortunately, that's backwards looking. And so I agree with you. If the experts are telling you, if the smart people in the room are saying we should probably be prepared for this, it might behoove us to be prepared for it.
Yeah.
Well, how many companies, I mean, you specifically are, in the state of Oklahoma, but how many companies have you dealt with that have been under a cyber attack? And do you deal with that directly or do you let the cyber, negotiators take care of it? And does the state play a hands-off role?
I won't speak to specific names. I think the trends that we're seeing nationally in the news are reflected everywhere. So the number is always increasing. But to your point about who responds, it's really a coalition of the willing. Anywhere from local municipal governments, state governments, federal governments, law enforcement, private industry. We're at the point where the people in the industry know that this is really kind of a growing existential risk. So it's time to work together and assist where we can to undo or ameliorate or fix problems. And so, it's kind of a all hands on deck kind of thing.
We're speaking with Richard Jackson, currently serving as the Oklahoma Deputy Attorney General for Cybersecurity, Technology, and Digital Assets. And we'll have more with him coming up here in a minute. But first, let me tell you about Frontier Magazine. It's not just about, actually, Frontier, but this is something really bold and fantastic from Blaze Media. Issue 2 of Frontier is out right now. It's bigger. It cuts through all the mainstream noise with stories you won't find anywhere else. So if you missed issue 1, you missed something really big. The first 500, though, who sign up right now for issue 2 will get both issues. They actually went really fast. And so is that done? Are we sold out of the first 500 already? Well,
yes. If we are, I've got one that I'll sell you here.
I got a couple that I can sell you.
Yeah, right? Look at that. I mean, this is a beautiful magazine. And it's about more than the magazine, of course. It's a movement about truth, about legacy, and about what matters. Issue 2 takes takes you to another level. You can't buy it in stores or online, only through Blaze Unlimited. It's more than just access to Frontier. It's early event invites, VIP perks, exclusive content, and a premium experience that you're going to love it. So we're keeping the $40 off Blaze Unlimited deal, but it ends at midnight tonight. So it's March 28th, right? Yep, midnight tonight. So go to blazeunlimited.com/Pat. Use the promo code Frontier40 and you get the $40 off. And then you can lock in your subscription before it's gone. This isn't just reading, it's living it. Okay? So go to blazeunlimited.com.
Join the conversation on X and follow @PatUnleashed.
Yeah. Welcome. Great to have you with us. We're speaking with Richard Jackson about cybersecurity and the cyber pandemic that could be coming.
The looming cyber pandemic.
Yeah. He currently serves as the Oklahoma Deputy Attorney General for Cybersecurity, Technology, and Digital Assets. Richard, appreciate your joining us, by the way, today. What role do nation-state actors play in the likelihood of a cyber pandemic compared to, say, just independent hackers, 14-year-olds in their underwear in their parents' basement? I mean, how much of this is really serious from big-time hackers, and how much of it is just people trying to break into things just to see if they can do it?
Yeah, Pat, thanks again for having me on. The nation-state element is really where I think we shift into the strategic risk end of the spectrum, where, you know, you look at North Korea. North Korea effectively finances all of their activities through cybercrime. And so a strategic risk where the cyber attack might be something that is a part of a bigger goal, right? It's a means to an end. They're often a lot more sophisticated. We call them script kiddies. So the kid who's on the internet finds something, he downloads it, he just tries it out, doesn't know what he's really doing, technically speaking. Probably knows what he's doing activity-wise, but not really too much of a threat in terms of the broad cascading effects. But the nation-state actor, they tend to be very sophisticated, coordinated. They are financed. They are operating under local legal cover, so maybe illegal what they're doing in the United States or according to international treaty, but if you're in certain jurisdictions around the world where the rule of law is not as it is here in America, they kind of operate with impunity. And then really kind of the hard part is cost of attribution and response. So let's say that we do identify that a nation-state actor is executing a cyber attack that results in this cyber pandemic. Well, if you've identified it's a nation-state, well, now you're talking nation-state to nation-state responses. Well, what does that sound like, right? That sounds like conflict. And so
war.
It's very difficult it's very difficult. It's very difficult when you get that level because they're very persistent. They're very willing. They're coordinated, and it just gets hard to, the kid in the basement, FBI knocks on the door, mom and dad, he's grounded for a month. When it's adversaries around the world, you don't exactly get to just show up and say, stop doing that.
How are we doing coordination-wise? I know, again, you're specifically Oklahoma, but how are we doing coordination-wise with other states and other nations in your estimation?
Well, see, I think this is one of the great things about a generation of industry professionals now working together is that we recognize we need to coordinate, as you say. I think the problem is who we're coordinating with. So here in the state of Oklahoma, local municipalities, county governments, state agencies and authorities, we all have the same interests. We all want to make sure that Oklahoma is protected and secure. That's very easy. One legal framework that we're working under is all Oklahoma law, all U.S. law. The resources question, that's always something that you can work with. But when you start talking about Oklahoma to other states, the United States to other states, those organizational elements start to break down a little bit. So it's a function of, it's kind of a function, unfortunately, of like everything else with coordination is, can you get the right people in the room, identify common interests, unite around a single legal framework, regulatory framework.
You see that happening?
And are we all? I think there are people who are trying, and I will hope them the best.
How hard is it to identify whether it's a nation state or not? And how do you prove that? Can you prove it pretty conclusively?
Attribution is very, very difficult. Unfortunately, nobody tends to send a postcard with their name and address, along with a cyber incident. So this is where the very sophisticated, very intelligent cyber operators in the private sector who have been studying patterns of behavior over years, even decades, do their best to identify where things come from. But again, speaking back to the problem of attribution, it can be very difficult. The digital fingerprints, you can modify, you can mask, you can obscure. It is a very difficult challenge.
Yeah, Elon just said the attack on X, was it last week or the week before, came from Ukraine. I mean, that's got to be a tough thing to prove. And then what do you do about it if it turns out to be true? That's a hard one.
Yeah, and the problem is that the attack may have originated in Ukraine, but it could have been a follow-on, right? It could have been a launching point from somewhere else. So it gets very, very difficult, very, very convoluted. The attack could have been from Ukrainian sources. It could have been from sources outside of Ukraine trying to make it look like Ukraine was doing it. It could have been Ukrainian, a Ukrainian element using external things to then hack themselves. Right? It gets very
little sticky
and conspiracy.
A little sticky, and then of course, if that leads to war, that's another sort of sticky issue there. Richard, appreciate it. Fascinating stuff.
Absolutely.
Serving as the Oklahoma Deputy Attorney General for Cybersecurity, Technology, and Digital Assets. Thanks for joining us, Richard. Appreciate it.
Hey, Pat, thanks for having me on. Thanks for the conversation, and roll Tide.
Yep. Nice. Nice. I hope they do roll now because, it'd be better if they win the national championship. We lost to the eventual national championship. Whatever. More coming up.
Wow. This is Pat Gray Unleashed.
Welcome to it. Great to have you with us. See, President Trump is the things he's thinking about and taking action on are just amazing. Yesterday, the thing was he's trying to curtail. He just signed an executive order to curtail divisive narratives at the Smithsonian Museums in Washington, D.C.
Not one day wasted with this administration.
Nope. And that's something I wouldn't have even thought of.
Right.
But those have been tainted with all kinds of left-wing propaganda. So just to eliminate all that should be great. In Massachusetts at Tufts University, there's a student visiting on a foreign visa. Rumsaya somebody or other from Turkey.
Yeah.
She was just picked up by ICE, had her visa revoked. She had a written pro-Hamas op-ed. She wrote that in the student newspaper.
Yeah, she was part of a group of multiple students.
Okay.
They called for the divestment from Israel and acknowledge a genocide against the Palestinians, and so now she's
okay. And now she's going to be.
She's in Louisiana now, and she's
deported.
Probably, she's lost her visa for now. So there you go.
They think they can just do whatever they want in this country, and they're being shown otherwise
because
they've gotten away with it forever.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right. Now it's not a crime. You don't put her in jail for that, right? But
just get out.
Get out.
And and if you read the articles about this and what the federal government is citing, there's a lot of leeway for our government to just kick you out for whatever reason. You're here as a guest. Get out. And I thought Rubio's explanation yesterday was perfect on this.
Yeah, our Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, on this case.
We revoked her visa. It's an F1 visa, I believe. We revoked it, and here's why. And I'll say it again. I said it everywhere. Let me be abundantly clear, okay? If you go apply for a visa right now, anywhere in the world, let me just send this message out. If you apply for a visa to enter the United States and be a student, and you tell us that the reason why you're coming to the United States is not just because you want to write op-eds, but because you want to participate in movements that are involved in doing things like vandalizing universities, harassing students, taking over buildings, creating a ruckus, we're not going to give you a visa. If you lie to us and get a visa and then enter the United States and with that visa participate in that sort of activity, we're going to take away your visa. And once you've lost your visa, you're no longer legally in the United States, and we have a right, like every country in the world has a right, to remove you from our country. So it's just that simple.
Yes!
I think it's crazy. I think it's stupid for any country in the world to welcome people into their country that are going to go to your universities as visitors. They're visitors. And say, I'm going to your universities to start a riot. I'm going to your universities to take over a library and harass people. I don't care what movement you're involved in. Why would any country in the world allow people to come and disrupt? Now, we gave you a visa to come and study and get a degree, not to become a social activist that tears up our university campuses. And if we've given you a visa and then you decide to do that, we're going to take it away. I encourage every country to do that, by the way, because I think it's crazy to invite students into your country that are coming onto your campus and destabilizing it. We're just not going to have it. So we'll revoke your visa, and once your visa is revoked, you're illegally in the country and you have to leave. Every country in the world has a right to decide who comes in as a visitor and who doesn't. If you invite me into your home because you say, I want to come to your house for dinner, and I go to your house and I start putting mud on your couch and spray painting your kitchen, I bet you're going to kick me out. But we're going to do the same thing if you come into the United States as a visitor and create a ruckus for us. We don't want it. We don't want it in our country. Go back and do it in your country. But you're not going to do it in our country.
Thank you.
Pretty simple.
It is pretty simple.
Yeah, it is. It is. And if I apply for a visa in France and I tell you, well, I'm going to be there to disrupt your nation. I'm going to be there to badmouth Macron. I hate everything French. I hate your food. I hate your culture. I hate your cities. You all stink. I hate the fact that you don't use deodorant. I hate you. And I'm coming there to tell you about it. You think I'm going to be given a visa? No. No, I'm not.
Yeah, the left is trying to make this, particularly this student in Massachusetts, as a free speech issue. I'm sorry.
That's not what it is.
Again, you're a visitor. You're not an American. Right. You don't get the free speech. And look at that threshold. It's pretty low. Let that be a warning shot to anybody trying to come here, especially while Trump is president. You're going to come here and you're going to do fill in the blank. Even if something is attaching your name to an op-ed, this government is paying attention, and I appreciate that.
That's right. If it's a U.S. citizen and you're saying, things that we don't like, well, you can do that, because what are we going to do? We're not going to arrest you, hopefully. So you won't be arrested, and there's nowhere to deport you because you're a citizen.
Over 300 student visas have been revoked by the Trump administration so far for individuals such as that.
It's fantastic. Yeah. Good. We don't need haters of our country in our country.
We got plenty homegrown haters.
Sure do. And we got to put up with them, but we don't have to put up with your foreign haters. We don't have to. And that was brilliantly put by Marco Rubio. It just makes sense, doesn't it?
It does.
You invite me to your house, and I come over there and I poop on your couch. Are you going to ask me to leave?
I could be a tad unhappy.
Yeah, you could be.
Well, if Jeffy comes
you'd be
over,
a little disappointed in me.
And he starts showing off his tattoos. You're going to be like, get out.
You're going to kick me out for showing my tat?
Yeah. For your tat, yes.
Yes. The one where you have to pull your pants down? Yeah.
Well, you wanted to see it.
No, I didn't. No. I really didn't. Not once I found, I thought if it was like an eagle, you got a bald eagle on your shoulder.
I thought about that.
Did you think about that? And then you thought
about that.
No, that's not me.
It's not me.
Yeah.
No.
So, that's great. President Trump has pulled Elise Stefanik and her nomination from the UN ambassador.
We've seen this coming for a while.
Because
we talked about it.
Yes, we have. Yeah.
There's too slim a majority in the House to lose her. And so she's fine with that. And she's, there's a bunch of people who can do that job. Doesn't have to be her. Just appoint somebody who's not a Republican representative in Congress.
Yeah, and I don't know if we'll have time for it today or maybe in overtime, but Owen Schroyer laid out in a 4-minute just explanation as to why the Supreme Court election next week in Wisconsin is very important to things like who controls Congress. And I'm telling you, man, that there is so much money being pumped into Wisconsin because the margins in Congress are so thin. And anyway, he does a great job of laying it out. But it's to this point of Elise Stefanik. I mean, we've said since election night, boy, this is going to be
razor thin,
really tight in the House. No room for error.
Stop appointing these people.
Right. So, in Florida, it's closer than it needs to be. I don't know that the Republicans are going to hang on to that even. So it's, not good.
It's getting a little dicey right now. You know what's not, though, is the price of eggs. It came down again.
Way down.
Yeah, it's down to $2.92 nationally. $2.92 a dozen now. That's pretty good when it was $8.17 or something like that. It was over $8 for a dozen eggs. Now it's down to under $3. That's
some parts of the country
really good.
Around $12.
Jeez.
Yeah. Boy, companies that use eggs are making a fortune now.
Oh no!
I'll tell you that.
Oh no!
Are they?
Making a fortune.
Are they? Really?
Making a fortune.
My eggs are still $5. So here we go.
So there you go.
Now you're ripping us off, bro.
I am.
Yeah, I can get them for $2.92 at Kroger. And I'm going to go to your house and get them for $5?
Our free-range eggs.
Yep.
No.
Free range.
Free range. Aren't they all free range now? Isn't that the thing?
No, they're not.
No.
There's some that are just born to sit there their
That's
whole
all
lives.
they do.
Oh,
Terrible.
No.
I know. It's
awful.
horrific.
Right?
I can't eat an egg if I know that the hen had to sit
I
there
almost feel bad.
all day,
I
every
almost
day.
feel bad when I'm
I
cracking
can't
it.
eat
It's
an
like,
egg. No. Yeah, I'm going to eat it still, but
Me
gosh,
too.
I might shed a tear.
No, I'm not crying.
You're not going to cry?
I may feel bad.
Well, I'm
for
more
a split
sensitive than
second.
you. I think we can all agree on that. I'm more sensitive than you. So I might shed a tear for the hen.
Okay.
Oh, golly. I am, thank you. Yeah, it's appropriate to have the sad music. Yeah. This hen was not allowed to roam free.
I mean, you're a hen. What are you going to do anyway?
I don't know.
You got places to go.
I want to be a free range.
That's the thing. A, you can't fly. Right. So what are you going to do? You're just going to waddle around out there?
What am I keeping you from?
Yeah.
Honestly, you going to the beach?
It just increases your chances. Some fox is going to eat you.
Hawk could
You're
come by,
better where
pick
you
you
are.
up.
Looking out for her.
You're better off right here, sitting on your eggs.
There's plenty of predators that could come by and take care of you.
Plenty. Plenty of them. So, do you have to watch out for coyotes and whatnot in your? No, you don't have them in your neighborhood.
I just got my dogs.
The dogs wouldn't eat the chickens, would they?
No, but they keep the
there's a couple.
coyotes away.
I started
really?
with more than just 12. I have 12.
You have 12.
Started
Now,
with more than 12
chickens. I started with more chickens. Now I only have 12.
Oh,
what happened to the other ones?
Dogs ate them.
No.
Oh yes.
Seriously?
Yes.
Your dogs attacked your chickens?
Yes, and ate it. Yes.
Like,
wow.
Was the chicken giving him attitude? Like, what set the
One
dogs
of them
off?
was giving him attitude,
I
and
see.
he did not
Wow.
like it. He was like, "Well, then you're mine."
Wow.
And he ate it.
Did you have like fried chicken?
And we do
that
own
night?
huskies, so they like that free range chickens.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. Don't the feathers get in their teeth and stuff? That's kind of gross.
Yeah, you
do
gotta
they?
clean them out.
They love all that. The only thing was left was the beak.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They ate the little
Everything,
chicken legs?
legs, everything, feathers.
Dang.
Yeah.
So again, to
Wow.
Pat's point, I mean, why don't you just leave the chicken all cooped
Yeah,
up for its own safety? If you got dogs on the loose, bro.
Now you're down to 12 chickens, and how many did you have at one point? So how many chickens were eaten
80.
by your dog? 1,000, and now you're down to 12.
6. Yeah, 6.
Okay. All righty. Whatever. It's just it seems a little brutal. Maybe you should lock them up. No.
But then I can't say they're free range.
Yeah, it's true.
Lock the dogs up.
All right.
Oh yeah, they're locked up.
Let me tell you about something even better than eating chicken, especially when the feathers are attached, and that's eating steak.
Amen.
Gosh, it's delicious. I love steak. Today's a steak day at my house. And where did I get this steak? Got the tender, juicy steaks from a cow that was raised right here in Texas.
Nice.
If you want to buy beef from a family-owned, fifth generation ranch like I do?
I do.
Yeah, then this is where you go. Try Tails Beef. You can bring premium Texas beef to your table because these are top-tier cuts of meat, hand-packed and delivered directly to you. USDA Prime and Choice Beef with high-end Black Angus genetics. And that will ensure that every single bite is going to be consistently delicious. There's no grass-fed gimmicks here. Just premium, flavorful beef that's been raised the right way. And it's balanced for tenderness and marbling, which means these cattle are pasture-raised and grain-finished by Texans who care about the quality of their product. I am starving right now just thinking about it. Go to trybeef.com/Pat Gray, and you'll get free steak tips on orders over $249.99. That's TRY Beef. trybeef.com/Pat Gray for free steak tips on orders over $249.99.
Pat Gray Unleashed is here.
So later today at the State Capitol building in Kansas. So this is in Topeka, kind of a small town, right? You would think that there's just Midwestern values there. Well, Satanists are gathering to mock God. Here's a local news report with one of the Satanic leaders.
Oh, he's a winner.
Founder and president of the Satanic Grotto is speaking exclusively with our Kansas Capitol Bureau. He says his group will host their ritual in the Capitol building, even if it means getting arrested by Capitol Police. Stewart says it's an act of defiance and rebellion, one of the core themes in Satanism.
What are you hoping they take away from this black mass?
I'm hoping that our legislature remembers that Kansas is a diverse group of people with diverse needs and wants, and stops placating to just the largest demographic of religious people.
Stewart says they're protesting oppression, those who have imposed their religion on them and have failed them.
I've never been to a black mass. For people who don't know, how could you describe this?
We are going to observe certain rules that
Pause it for a sec. Right there. Pause it. Look at that. There's an MS-12 tattoo right there on his head. You should deport him. MS-12 is just a little bit less bad than MS-13.
No, I think that's MS-666.
Oh, is that what that is?
I think that's looking at there.
Look at how bad. I mean, this. He's been oppressed.
Yeah, we're being oppressed.
Okay.
Oh,
all right.
Nice job there, art gallery on your
things from what we would do in private. Ours tend to be a little more bawdy, a little more ruckus,
evil,
smoke and mirrors and fun. We can't make any messes here. We can't do a lot of things. So what we're going to do is heavily lean into what I call the four blasphemies, kind of representing an alternate to the Stations of the Cross.
Stewart says religion has taken center stage in some debates at the State House, like abortion. Catholic groups have advocated for more restrictions on abortions in the state. But in 2022, Kansas voters decided to uphold abortion rights in the state's constitution.
If there are Catholics here fighting against abortion rights, which Kansas has decidingly and overwhelmingly voted for.
Pause it for a second. Hey, how interesting is it that Satanists are all pro-abortion? What a stunning surprise. Hey, there you go. Leftist, you got yourself an ally in the Satanic Grotto.
Yeah. Yes.
The Satanic Grotto is on your side.
You know what that is, Pat.
Congratulations. Wow, you're in good company, aren't you?
Right.
Man, if there's one place you want to be, it's on the side of the Satanists, if I'm not mistaken.
It'll be an interesting day in Topeka.
You're not mistaken. You want to be in the grotto. You want to be in the grotto.
Right. So
same mechanisms to speak back.
Then would you argue that religion has somehow infiltrated the State House, not just, national politics, and for that reason you're using it as a way to combat what you're seeing here.
Oh, look at that. Her
through
next job is the
legislation.
PR arm for
that.
Now, Governor Kelly says she won't allow protests to be made inside the Capitol. The governor issuing this statement tonight, saying in part there are more constructive ways to protest and express disagreements without insulting or denigrating sacred religious symbols. However, as governor, I also have a duty to protect protesters' constitutional rights to freedom of speech and expression, regardless of how offensive or distasteful I might find the content.
How'd they elect a Democrat governor in Kansas?
Oh, they do that a lot up there. They go back and forth.
That's bizarre.
It is.
I mean,
it's bizarre.
They had Kathleen Sebelius.
Oh,
but they
yeah,
also had
true.
Sam Brown back.
Yeah, true.
They have this chick, and then they had
Montana does the same thing. There's enclaves of liberals in Montana, like the mean streets of Helena, for instance, where the state government is located.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Probably the same thing in Kansas.
And not a lot of people are able to get out and vote on the main streets because
of the bullets flying. Yeah. If you don't have a flak jacket, you're not going to the voting booth. You're not, because it's just too dangerous. That's amazing. Oh, my gosh.
Yep.
And I'm sure they'll probably cave. So they're going to do blasphemy. That's their goal.
Yeah.
The 4 blasphemies. 4.
Yeah, good. Okay. So that happens today or tomorrow?
Today. About, I don't know, late morning sometime. Last I saw.
Good.
We'll have an update for you on Monday on how that went.
Yeah. If they try to get into the Capitol, then it'll probably
get ugly.
And
insurrection.
Insurrection.
Oh, wow.
Satanist insurrection.
Right?
The state of
From
Kansas.
the grotto.
Grotto.
Man.
That guy's a winner. He's been a winner his whole life.
Oh,
too.
yeah. Oh, yeah. You can tell. What is the thing on it where it was a flower of
Yeah,
some
it looked
kind,
like
right?
a sunflower, like the Kansas state flower, I think.
I bet that's adorable.
I bet
Isn't that adorable?
I wonder if that is.
That's funny because it might be.
Yeah, let's get the side of that again. Let me check this out. What's his name again? Mr. Satan? Like, what is?
There it is.
Douche.
Yeah,
I think his name is Douche McGee.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there's Douche McGee right there.
He's got a art gallery.
flower.
That's a good looking tat.
That's cute. That's adorable.
I like
him.
the beard hair too.
Yeah, hang out there. Yeah, like a goat.
Yeah.
See, now you got to keep shaving your head, or else you got like half a flower, and then it looks really odd.
Right.
So you got to keep that.
Can't have that.
Gallery wall.
Tattoo
clean.
goes to waste that
Is that
way.
the Kansas state flower?
Yes. I mean,
okay.
Yeah,
it is.
sunflower.
Yes, it is now. If it wasn't before, it is officially
Just
now
happened.
the state
They
flower
just
of
voted on
Kansas.
it. Yes.
Mhm.
I didn't just. Here it is. Yeah. See, look. I mean,
Yeah. See?
Unless I Google it, Jeffy's not going to just believe me.
That is true.
Oh,
thank
there it
you.
is.
Now, I
Thank
could have
you.
just typed in sunflower. He doesn't know that.
True.
But I actually did type
If I find out that
Kansas,
that's not the state flower.
Kansas state flower right there, as you can
Could
see.
be held to pay.
There is.
With
There
the
is.
Satanists, too, there's hell to pay.
Thank you.
That's interesting because a lot of the Satanists claim that they don't believe in Satan. It's just for fun. You know, it's just a way to
blasphemy is
be
a
different.
riot.
Themselves.
Yeah. Okay. But, I mean, what would Satan have you believe?
There you go.
That he doesn't exist, right? Because then you don't have to worry about it. In Canada, the election of a new prime minister going to take place 1 month from today. They finally set the date for the election, huh? Mm-hmm. Good. Current prime minister, leftist Mark Carney, was heckled yesterday.
Uh-oh.
Oh, you hate to see that.
Listen carefully.
How many kids did you molest Jeffrey Epstein?
Is that real?
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, I don't know anything about his connection to Epstein. But that was Hey, now,
wow.
Is he speaking French or?
Didn't sound like it.
What is that?
Inyoha?
Inyoha. You know.
What?
Inyoha.
That doesn't sound French to me.
If you missed the question
it's
from
some kind of Native American tongue.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
But
Inyoha?
Don't pretend like you don't know the Native
is
American
Inyoha?
language.
Is that his
Canada.
denial from the question from the audience member?
I don't know.
Who asked,
Inyoha.
how many kids did you molest with Jeffrey Epstein?
Inyoha.
Inyoha.
How many kids did you molest with Jeffrey Epstein?
Doesn't sound like a denial.
No, it didn't.
I would like to know what he's saying.
Inyoha.
Inyoha.
Weird.
Okay, you keep saying that. What?
So.
And then are they chanting ha, ha, ha?
I heard Trump. Trump.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Weird. I mean, what an embarrassing country that has become.
It is.
But we like
They're embarrassed.
the Pierre guy, right? But he had a message for Trump
I
yesterday.
don't know. I
You wanna hear this?
thought
Listen
he
to
was
this.
our guy.
Let's hit this.
But I have a further message for President Trump. If you decide to go down this road,
Tariffs.
this is what's going to happen.
What?
Yes, you'll do damage to us in the short term,
Yeah.
but we will fight back and we will build back. Within 4 years of a new, strong, conservative government, Canada will be completely rebuilt. We will rebuild our economy. We will not be reliant on the U.S. anymore.
Good.
And the Americans will have lost the greatest trading partner and friend they ever had.
What?
A conservative government will build pipelines and LNG plants.
We don't even think about you.
Promote mines and other resource infrastructure that has been blocked for the last 10 years. We'll have new overseas trading partners. We will knock down interprovincial barriers so that we can trade with ourselves. We will send our goods to our friends on other sides of the oceans of the world. We will cut taxes and speed up permits so that we can sell our oil, gas, mining, lumber, agriculture, fisheries, manufacturing, small businesses and large businesses alike. The world needs our resources and our expertise. If you, Mr. Trump, don't want them, the rest of the world does. Under a new conservative government, we will put Canada first for a change. We will be a nation that is strong, self-reliant, standing on its own 2 feet, so that we can stand up for ourselves and stand up to the Americans.
You know, about time.
Stand up.
No Canadian knows how to sound tough, by the way. Like, it's impossible. Even when they try.
Unbelievable. I mean, you think we're not going to be doing all those things? And I wonder who's going to be more successful doing all of those things that you just outlined. I don't know, Canada or America?
In your
ha.
In your ha.
In your ha. In your ha.
In your ha.
All right. Have a great weekend. Be back here on Monday. Oh, and we have overtime coming up today as well. So there's even more fun on the way.
This is Pat Gray Unleashed.